Welcome to the Daily High with Matt McGregor and Tone Vays. It's Wednesday night here and Wednesday morning in the US and other parts of the world. The market looks very interesting. Good morning, Tone. How are you, mate?
Morning. I'm good. Still down here in Panama. I've been here all year. Probably going to stick around a little while longer. And charts are certainly interesting. I think we're going to jump right into it. It's going to be curious who won that trade because technically we're both losers.
We're both losers, but I use more leverage, but you had a higher position size. So I'm interested.
Correct.
You had more money in the trade. So I'm interested to see. Let's go. We can start
All
with you
right. So
first, if you
who's
like.
doing screen share? Me?
I'll go first. Why not? I'll go first.
All right, go for it.
I'm hoping I've solved this issue of my mouse. Can you see my mouse, Tone?
Wait. Yes, I can.
Thank you, Jesus. Okay. All right. So I definitely lost. I definitely lost money in this trade. I lost $103 in this trade. So the 100 I
I
made
lost.
yesterday.
I lost 75. So we're gonna
Uh-huh.
round. You lost 100. I lost 75.
Okay. All right. So you won today's trade. You won today's trade, but because you didn't make profit on the trade, I'm off ears for a
I
second.
cannot I cannot move up the board, but Matt can come down. Yep.
I couldn't hear any of that, but yeah, you don't go up. You just
Yep.
stagnate there. Awesome. Awesome.
Yep. I don't go up because I didn't make money. So I get to stay where I am. Matt comes down. And yeah, let's talk about what happened. And had this been a live trade where we were sitting in front of the market for 24 hours, where we would have realized the trade was a bad idea. So I would like to go through that. You want to go first, mate? Since oh yeah, you don't have screen share anymore.
Oh, I can take the screen share and I'm happy to go first. Okay. So turn off float for a second. We'll start. Yeah, we don't need to go through the weekly at the moment. The weekly is where it is
Oh
in
no,
the
no.
mid.
While you have float open, just adjust your P&L for the next trade. Just make it
Well, I know exactly what it's going to be. $1,000. Good work.
you're back to exactly 1,000.
Back to
Perfect.
where I started, story of my life. All right. So, um, the week is still midweek. We've got 4 days and a half left in this week. It is a red star candle on the MRI. Is the pullback over? It's nothing. We've had a really good bounce off that. Okay. And we're back inside virtually above 40,000 is the range for me of where we're back in interest point. But absolutely, I'm not ready to get back full long again in this trade. I still think that we've got further downside to go. And if we were to recover, I'd be happy to get back in higher. And you're going to laugh at me in a second when I bring up the daily time frame because I did actually take on from this purple line here. It was the trade was at 41.66, but because of the divergence in the charts on my trading, it worked as we 169 on trading view. I'm long again, 75,000, 2x. But I've got an interesting story behind that. I just took the profit I made on the previous trade where I cashed out on one of the exchanges. I made about 0.68 Bitcoin or something like that in the trade. So I just took that profit, 2x leveraged it from, we'll call it 40,200, and I have a 1.5 stop loss in. So I'm interested in this bounce, but as you can see, the trade's currently underwater. If we come back down to the bottom of the daily candle, I'm happy to get out of that trade. But for just that house money, so to speak, I'm interested in taking on a position here of 75,000 contracts. On the 4 hour time frame, as we go through, I'm I'm impressed with its little bounce here, but it's still nothing to be excited about. To come back up and test a 30 here would be very, very common to do this in a downwards trend. To come down, come back up, get around the 30, go back down, come back up, come around the 30, come back down, do it again. This is indicative of a downwards trend. If we come, I do feel like we could come back up to here at the 40,800 mark. And then that will be a real test to see if we can actually start clearing some of these moving averages. And I'd really, really love to see us get above this MRI support and resistance on the 4-hour time frame, but that's back at 41,800. So there's a long, long way to go before any of that comfortability. I really took on the trade because on the 15-minute time frame, this is what I was looking at on the 15-minute time frame. It's, again, I don't know how long I'm going to be in this trade for, but I used a different indicator. This is the new indicator I've built, and it hasn't fired a signal yet at all. But as I turn off the MRI, I'm really interested in us getting above this pink line. And then when you see a pink star above the top of the candle, I'm not going to tell you what makes this. This is when I start to get interested in a scalp position. So if we just zoom back in time a little bit, what I'm looking for on this is something like this, bang, where I can get my 2% and get out. Going back in time further, here, get that pink diamond, get it in, get out. And then I can save myself here as well. Like I can get out here if I wanted to. This trade may become a scalp for me. It may become a great position trade for me, or it just might get stopped out at 1.5%. It's a punt I'm willing to take with house money that I made from the previous trade. That's where I'm seeing Bitcoin right now. I'd love to see your thoughts, Tone, as you're back on camera right now, mate. Let me know what you think about Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, let me jump on screen share. So here is the 1-hour chart. So you can see my PNL was minus 75, 77 at the moment while Matt was talking. So I'm actually going to adjust my PNL. So minus 75, I'm at 125. Okay. So did that adjust?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can close
cool.
float now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna close float. So okay, actually, no, I want to bring it back because I wanted that blue line to be there. So when we entered our trades yesterday during the show, it was this candle right here. It was these two candles, basically. It was this red candle. Now, I knew that the hourly MRI buy was coming. Like the MRI low and the hourly chart was going to come the hour after we got off the show, which is an indication that I should try to catch the falling knife and go long. The reason why I went short at this time yesterday is because I anticipated we would go up for 1 to 4 candles and then get rejected by the moving average exactly as it happened. However, I really thought that we would make one more new low and then rally to the upside as of either today or the day after. So everything was aligning for me for a daily MRI buy opportunity, which is still going to happen tomorrow. I fully expect the MRI buy candle to show up tomorrow. I was just hoping that this current candle would be more of, the ultimate low instead of yesterday being the ultimate low, because it does create a much cleaner MRI low opportunity. Remember, guys, as I've been saying, this red arrow is, for me, the no-go zone on buying the dip. Now, had the prices of Bitcoin went below 38,000, even today, that would be a potential knife catch because of 3 different things that are happening right here at the lows, including an MRI low. But yesterday turned out to be the reversal candle. Now, everything is in line with the reversal here. It's just not as perfect as it would have been if this same candle would have shown up today, given us a lower swing low, or even tomorrow, given us an even lower swing low. That would have made me a lot more comfortable in buying the dip, because getting into this trade now can still easily reverse tomorrow and take us down into that perfect buy zone. And now I end up with the dilemma do I take the loss on the trade, or do I hold through a losing position, or God forbid, double down at a loss? So if I was to go long right here, anticipating for this to be the ultimate low and for us to start going all the way to the upside, I would have to make this trade significantly smaller in size than I otherwise would have had it been down here, allowing me the opportunity to double down into a proper full position at the lows that I was anticipating of 36 to 38. So today is really a wait and see candle. I hope it doesn't run away from me to the upside. But according to the rules of trading reversal candles, and this will be positive volume on the tone-based indicator, tone-based volume right there is going to be green, but every volume is going to be green because it's a green candle. There is a buy opportunity the moment you started trading above this doji, or even above the body of this doji. Not doji, sorry, hammer. Above the hammer. It's just, man, it wasn't perfect. Was really hoping for 24 more hours of downside. Let's go to the weekly scale.
Well, just on that tone, if you go back to the daily for a second, and I love doing the show with you, because I had nothing to say for today's show really, but as you start talking, my thoughts come to me. I took that trade that we're talking about, that is a no trade zone for you, for the same reasons. It's not enough for me to go full bore into this trade. It's not a catch a falling knife by the dip type of buy for me. It's a very small allocation with a very tight stop loss that's really well defined, actually using the tone vases, training in that my stop loss is down at the start of the candle. But yeah, I'm not full blown ready to go into this trade. Not at all. Absolutely not. But I'm happy to take a punt with found money on that. Sorry, Tone, please continue.
No, you're good. So right now we are looking at the opposite scenario. We are coming in on an hourly MRI top since exactly the same time yesterday. So yesterday we were doing the show at exactly this time, the 8 a.m. candle, New York time. Wait, this is the 8 a.m. candle? Okay, that's the 7 a.m. Right. So here's the 8 a.m. candle is going to show up in 10 minutes. The 8 a.m. candle was an MRI warning candle, and right now we're on an MRI warning candle, it's just in the opposite direction. However, this time around on the 1 hour chart, there is very beautiful support right here at the moving average crossover that's coming in. So I'm actually fairly bullish here, and I think your bullish trade is going to be successful. This also means that you guys already have an idea of which direction we're going to go to in our contest in about 15 minutes.
Well,
but
the trading competition means a lot more to me, so I might go the other way. So at least I'll win one of them.
Yeah. Well, it depends how much leverage you'll do and I'll do. Remember, there's one more rule to the competition. If you get liquidated, you lose, right?
Yeah.
So the moment someone gets liquidated, the name of the game is still to make money, right? So to win the competition, you need to beat your opponent and have a positive P&L. But to lose the competition, if you're first to be liquidated, the competition's over and we potentially start a new one. Okay, let's go higher time frames. Let's go to the weekly charts. The weekly charts, I mean, right now, it's in a wait and see mode because we need to know if this was a 1 to 4 candle correction off the MRI top, or it is something bigger than that that's going to keep going lower. We never made it to a moving average, which is not great. I would have rather us make a low touching the moving average. Now, touching the moving average next week endangers the whole daily MRI structure, and touching the moving average this week would have been some kind of a catastrophic crash, which I also didn't want to see. So because we're Bitcoiners at heart, we're always more happy that the price of Bitcoin goes up, even when we're wrong about how big the pullback is going to be. And the weekly chart, unfortunately, we have to wait until not only the end of this candle, we also have to wait to see how the next candle begins. So there's absolutely nothing more I can tell you on the weekly scale until probably Tuesday of next week. Tuesday, Wednesday next week would be the first time I'll be able to analyze whether the 1 to 4 candle correction has ended and I'm anticipating new swing highs, or is the 1 to 4 candle correction going to turn into something more catastrophic, taking us all the way down to 32. All I can say is that last night the latest piece of data came in, and GBTC is a complete and utter disaster. They sold the highest number of Bitcoin day over day from the prior days. The bleeding is getting worse. Now this data, it's also possible that GBTC isn't the first to report the data like I think they are. It's also possible they're the last to report the data, which means that it looks more like this. And this number is actually here, and then it's like that. So this is also possible. If the next GBTC number that's going to show up today after market close is significantly smaller with this bounce, then that means they're like reporting a day and a half late instead of, you know, several hours after the close. This is also possible based on you know, how much Bitcoin has dropped the last few days with these massive GBTC sales. This could be the number here. And maybe this bleeding has stopped. Everyone that was thinking of selling GBTC has finally sold. And in that case, Bitcoin can finally start to rise significantly, as the amount of Bitcoin, as you can see, if this number is here, on a net basis, more people sold Bitcoin, more ETFs sold Bitcoin on Monday, on Monday, then bought it. I can fill out these numbers right after the show, so we will see what happened here as well. All right. I hope everyone caught the video of me interviewing people from ARK Invest and 21 Shares on my channel yesterday. If not, go over there and check that out. 21 Shares is a partner of ARK Invest that makes some of their ETFs. So we had a representative from 21 Shares and a representative from ARK Invest talking about the Bitcoin ETF. All right. My allocation chart, nothing changes really. 50% bullish allocation. And would have been, I don't really like to buy the dips on this kind of chart. This is more of a breakout chart. The moment the price of Bitcoin can get above both moving averages and they cross over somewhere in that $42,000 range, completely back to a 100% long position. All right. Oh, one last thing. People asking, I totally forgot. Tuesday the 23rd was a critical day for my Pi cycle. This is, I'm going to set this to a weekly chart. This is something I initially wrote about in a Cointelegraph article back when I used to publish there. I wrote about it in the article back in 2014, in August 2014 to be exact. And I did a cyclical analysis on critical days in the future life of Bitcoin. These were the days of reference. I didn't actually keep track of this one in 2019. And so I don't know anything that's important that happened there, but these blue lines are not as critical as the red lines and the orange lines. And I was keeping an eye on January 23rd, potentially to be a critical day. Maybe this is the day that marks the low of the great ETF pullback. That's what we can maybe name it. You know, the pullback was substantial. When you go to the daily chart, especially, and you look at it top to bottom, literally from the moment the ETF news was announced, right there, to the point of rebound on the 23rd, that was a 20% correction. And it really caught people by surprise. All right, Matt, want to jump in?
Yeah, that's right. If it's a bull market and we had a 20% correction, that's fine. But it could be a hell of a lot more than that if GBTC keeps selling and the fear keeps kicking in. I don't know, man. I don't think it's totally done yet. Do you want to have a look at the S&P 500 because it just looks it's pretty contrasting to what Bitcoin looks like right now.
Wow. So the S&P 500 is still rocking to the upside. I've been all over the bullishness of the S&P 500. There is no stopping it. I mean, the bullish run that the stock market has been on since the October low is almost unprecedented. It is up close to 20% in 4 months. That is absolutely incredible. From the end of October, end of November, so no, 3 months. It only took 3 months for the S&P to move 20%. The S&P moves on average 8 to 9% per year. This thing just moved double that in a quarter of a year. Now, is the S&P due for a pullback? Yeah, probably. A clean pullback would be back to the $4,600 area. But man, anyone that got out of Bitcoin and put it in the S&P 500, which is something I should have done when I still have 75% cash, but I've been dying to allocate that back into Bitcoin. I probably should have put that into the S&P 500 right away. I am bullish on the S&P 500. Like once Bitcoin goes back into its multi-year bear market, I can't wait to get back into the S&P. I think it's always one of the best possible trades for a retirement portfolio, especially in this insane 15-year bull run. And those of you that watched our Twitter or listened to our Twitter space with Chris Chiavacco, we want to have him on again. He is super bullish based on historical reasons and demographics and all other things, where he thinks like me, the S&P can double this decade alone before any kind of a major correction. So super impressed. I think the S&P will hit the top of the channel once again. This was the monster rally off of the COVID lows. Inflation had a lot to do with that. When there is rising inflation, things go up in value that you are still going to buy, like an iPhone. People just can't stop buying those things. And guess what? If there's massive inflation, your iPhone is going to be $3,000. And you're still going to somehow pay for it, no matter how broke you are. So this is why the price of Apple stock is going to keep rising. Not to mention, I can't wait for all of these companies to start buying Bitcoin to add to their balance sheets. And as the price of Bitcoin rises, so will the stock market. We can glance at, oh, by the way, just as a heads up, shout out to my good friend Vinay, who apparently was watching the show and immediately sent me an update to the tone vase volume indicator. And now it is working properly, giving me a green volume spike on this little green candle right there. So that is awesome. And I want to pull up MicroStrategy to see how that did. I'm just going to type it in. And this is why tone-based volume has not yet been released publicly, is because there's still some bugs that need to be solved. So MicroStrategy had a beautiful reversal doji candle right there. And let's see how it does today. It's already set to open fairly nicely. It's possible that MicroStrategy drop us over. This is another stock that I would have loved to see reach an MRI low for a buying opportunity near the MRI support line and the long-term moving average. So we will see for a second consecutive MRI buying opportunity. But there's still going to be major resistance right there at the moving averages. But that's a long way up for a potential, dead cat bounce trade. Hopefully it becomes a lot more.
It's just correlated almost with Bitcoin, isn't it? Like it doesn't look that dissimilar.
It is, but imagine what happens when every single company has 1,000 Bitcoin on their balance sheet, right? I mean, I don't know if that will be possible. There's only 21 million Bitcoin, but so if, say, top 100 companies in the world decided to buy 1,000 Bitcoin, that is shit. That's actually a lot, right?
That's
1,000
more.
companies, 1,000 Bitcoin. You add 3 zeros to that. That's 1 million Bitcoin, right? Is that 1 million Bitcoin or 10 million? I think that's 1 million Bitcoin.
What are those two math degrees, Tone? Come on.
Yeah, it's too early. That's 1 million Bitcoin. And that's 1 million Bitcoin in treasuries of these companies. And now every stock in NASDAQ 100 is trading more in line with Bitcoin than it is with the business that they have. How crazy would that be in the future?
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love it, mate. Oh, mate. Look, if you've got any more stocks we can look at, otherwise we can keep this show quite brief tonight. It is a Wednesday. I'd be very interested to see how Bitcoin finishes the week. It's going to be some big shows coming up the rest of this week, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's one more question on GBTC. Do I think that GBTC can die? I do. I really do, because look how fast they are bleeding Bitcoin. If they keep selling 10,000 Bitcoin every single day, eventually the BlackRock ETF and the Fidelity ETF are going to have more Bitcoin than the Grayscale ETF. As people slowly sell those shares and enter different ETFs, because their fee is significantly higher than their competitors. So as time passes, more and more people are going to stop holding this ETF. And if no one is holding the ETF, they will have to sell all of these Bitcoin and to their competitors, basically. They will take it over. They're going to have to lower this fee again to 1% and then lower than that. So it is possible. Also, one of these other ETFs might just buy their company or just buy them out or take them over. I wouldn't mind this at all, because, like I said, the founders and the managers of Grayscale have been bad actors for Bitcoin's decentralization. I'm not saying BlackRock is going to be better, but at least they haven't done anything bad yet. And Grayscale has a proven record of doing things we don't like in the space.
Yeah, mate. Absolutely.
All right. Do we have any other charts to discuss?
No, I think we do short, sharp show tonight. Why not? Why not?
All right. Time to put on our trades.
All right.
All right. Should I go first, or should you?
You go first. You got the screen share.
All right. Why don't you put in your leverage?
Yeah.
Before I decide on my leverage. So my starting balance would be 1,125. I actually have an extra $25 versus Matt from yesterday. So my P&L is even slightly higher. Let's adjust the price, the current price of Bitcoin, exactly 40,000 right there. You see it on my screen.
Yep.
We're going to set the price to nice round number of 40,000. You ready with your trades ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I am going to go long here. And now the question is a leverage. I'm fairly confident we're going to have a nice bullish day today, finally. And I am going to up my leverage one notch over to 3. Thought about going higher, but I'm not crazy confident also, because I think there will be a little bit more of a pullback here. And while I am expecting us to go get supported by these moving averages, I also expected us to get rejected by this one. Back here yesterday, we did, but not significantly enough. I would personally advise Matt not to go the opposite way, just because this way I think it's too early to throw Hail Marys like that. But let's see what Matt has. I'm going to stop my screen share, open yours up, and explain your thinking.
All right, Tone. I will respectfully disagree with you. I'm going 2x. 2x leverage short from 40,000. Boom. That's
Oh
my trade.
boy. All right, so Matt is going short. If this doesn't work out for him, this could be a major swing. I would be super in the lead, and then I can just be on cruise control as long as I don't make any critical mistakes. All
Well,
right.
I actually liked what I said at the start of the show, that either my realistic trade with 75,000 US dollars is going to be correct, or my fake trade with nothing on the line except for pure shame is going to win. So tomorrow I'm going to come into the studio happy one way or the other. And what more can you
Yeah.
ask for?
Well, this is a bit of a dilemma, right? So, and I always fall into this dilemma doing YouTube videos like this for almost a decade now. You fall into this dilemma where you have critics that it's like, you ever seen that meme with a man and his wife on a donkey, and no matter how they sit on a donkey, they get criticized? Have you ever seen that?
No, I like it though. I can picture
No? All right,
it.
hold on. Hold on. Man and wife on a donkey meme. It's a meme. It's this one, right? So
Okay.
it's a super classic meme. There's actually yeah, here it is. Let me see if I could there it is, right? So so this is basically people that watch the show, and you can just go through and read it. Like if you're walking next to the donkey, it's like clueless people. They don't even know how to ride a donkey. If they're both on the donkey, what a wicked couple. They have no mercy for that animal.
Right.
If only the wife's on a donkey, stupid man, he should ride because he's the boss, not the woman. And if the man's on a donkey, it's like, oh, what an asshole. Why is he on a donkey and not the woman? And the only other option is to carry the donkey, right?
Yeah.
And so no matter what you do, someone's going to criticize. And when you do shows like this, what happens is if you have a position on the line, everyone is like, oh, he's just talking up his position because he's in a long trade or he's holding that token. So therefore, he's going to talk about that token to get others into the same trade. But if you don't have the trade on the line, now you get criticized. Oh, how come you're talking about the price going up? You're not even in the trade, right? So it's one or the other. And to me, the more objective of the two is actually the one you have no trade in. Because you can be more objective and you're not being swayed by your position. And the other option is to talk about the price of Bitcoin going way higher while holding a trade in the opposite direction. Because if you're wrong and you look stupid on camera, at least you made money for being wrong, right? In your actual portfolio. And if you're losing money in your actual portfolio, you look like a genius in the eyes of thousands of people, right? So either way, something good happens. So people always have to be careful whenever people talk about trading analysis. I'm going to leave it here before this show drags on for 3 hours like they used to on my YouTube channel. Let me stop the screen share.
Oh shit. Oh man, I love that. And I don't want to drag the show on either, but I'm new to YouTube and reading some of the comments. I mean, they 90% have been fantastic, but there's been some people who don't like me, and I get it. I mean, my wife
It's
doesn't
okay,
even
man. You
like
gotta
me.
ignore it, man. The amount of
But,
people that don't like me is out of control. All right,
that does
but they
that
still
does
watch
make
the
that
show,
does
and they watch the show every day too. It's really amazing. All right, we're
awesome.
gonna get going. Matt, close us out. Where should people follow? What should people do? Go for it.
Awesome. Please like and subscribe to the video. It means a lot to us to spread the word that we're doing. We're here every night. I'm here bloody late at night, and Tony has to get up really early in the morning because we've got the worst time frames ever. So we'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. If you want to trade, if you want to get into the trading game, and if you're interested, please use our affiliate links in the description below. The show is sponsored by 2bit, and there is a really fantastic exchange, and we really want the support there. It's follow the black box affiliate links, and you'll find your way there quite quickly. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you coming in and watching.